Well, happy birthday, Jen.
Thank you. Thank you. I was singing When I'm 64 a minute ago for the pre-show. Especially the lines, will you still need me? Will you still feed me? Which is all important when I'm 64. Please feed me caramel and coffee and
I was gonna make you a cake.
I brought you a treat.
Oh yeah, thank you, Johnny, right from the packet. And I'm not an amateur too.
Straight from the bosom of the earth.
I was going to bake you a cake and eat it for you, Jen, but I forgot to buy the mix at the store. So all I have is brownie mix. So I'm making you brownies and then eating them for you. So saving your own calories.
That's love.
I'm curious.
With eggs so expensive, forgo the cake.
I'm curious if you guys have been running to sweets and like concentrated like sugar in these recent times.
I have, but I have a sweet tooth naturally, so
I've gone like to tip the freaking like I took a break from it because I was like, no, this is my problem. But lately I just like rebooted an angry monster.
They had my dark chocolate candy bars on sale at the grocery store the other day. I was like, oh, stock up before the tariffs hit. I bought a whole bunch of candy bars.
Happy birthday to you. Come on, everybody. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jen. Happy birthday to you and many more.
Thank you. Thank you for joining me on my birthday.
And we're red for Aries.
For all the fellow Aries, happy birthday. That includes Roro, Bella, and Skewy. They're all Aries. My kitties.
I have an Aries moon.
Oh, that'll do it.
It counts. Just like this. That's why my hair got red.
All my friends are Aries or Libra. Every single one.
I have a Gemini rising, so that's part of why we get along so well.
Don't complicate things. I just pushed that together just now.
It makes sense because you're a Gemini. It actually makes perfect sense. It's a good aspect to both. Gemini.
Flighty and hot-headed people. That's why I like.
I wasn't going to say
familiar.
Petty, Johnny. Petty. We're a whole brand of petty over
here. You should have seen us at the Vietnamese restaurant. We were all walking away, and one person just could not stand to walk away without saying something.
Who was that?
She said, "You know what? I'm sorry. I just got to say something." I'm like, "You go right ahead. Go get them, Barbara Walters."
I hope it was thank you.
Oh no, it was so awful. We were dumping our food in the garbage. We couldn't even eat it.
Oh and no, it's a conspiracy. So Johnny doesn't get multicultural cuisine.
Yeah, it was one of those.
How can you get Vietnamese food wrong?
That's what she said.
It's my favorite type of food, and this was like so disgusting. I was so excited we were going to introduce Johnny to Vietnamese, but it was really funny because like they had on the table the place to put your credit card, order your food. Tip automatically got included. Thank you, Marby. So we couldn't take the tip off. We'd already paid for it and dumped it all in the garbage. And I said, I got a tip for y'all. Learn how to cook Vietnamese because this ain't it.
Mind you, and tip, nobody waited on our table. So I don't know what the tip was even for because nobody waited on us. We got all our food and went to the table, and that was the end of it. But yeah, it was horrible. It tastes like water.
Didn't even have people bring the food to your table. It was like, okay, we're tipping the people that cook this awful stuff.
What town was this in?
Portland. Oh, it's hard to get a bad meal in Portland. The food is awesome there.
Okay, I gotta say this. I've only been to Portland the one time that I went to meet you guys up there. My cousin that you guys met from here in LA, have said that the Mexican food in Oregon is horrible. And they've gone everywhere. And it's like, well, you're coming from LA. And then Johnny was saying that he had Mexican food that was like tasteless and tasted like
Victor Rico's, it was beautiful. All of it was gorgeous, but it tastes like nothing.
I was like, how do you mess up Mexican food? Like, well, exactly. I was just like wow.
I mean, it was more flavor in the wrapper it came in than it was in the food.
No.
I'm like,
well, we do have one taco truck, which I'm already dreaming about, that I love. And I think Johnny loved the food pretty much too. We ate there like 3 times in a week because I couldn't stop craving the tacos.
Yeah.
It's always the little places.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's a food truck.
Yeah, as soon as they become an anonymous franchise or something, it's all over.
Yeah.
Well, there's a famous story in Melbourne where this young Italian guy wanted to launder his drug money. And so he decided he needed a front. So he got his sort of dopey cousin to open a pizza place just to move the money through. But the cousin turned out to make the best pizzas in Australia. And it took off. And then he's being interviewed. This is the drug guy. What are the secret to, his business success? And
seed money.
People who drive 40 miles for these pizzas, so he was the accidental success.
Thank you, Acadian and Impish. So, anybody got announcements? Anything going on?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Autumn. Do you have anything?
Oh, no, I was just going to say, after years of trying, I finally have a newsletter and a website that's working. So you can
nice.
So bookartmedia.com.
Bookartmedia.com. If one of our moderators will put that in the chat. The link.
Thank you.
We can all click on it later. Autumn, for those who don't know Autumn is live every day at noon Central Time, 365 days a year. So check out Black and Orange.
Fresh every day. Fresh art on overlays and covers and questions and topics and you name it. So we cover all kind of ground.
Ona's doing Saturday nights with Dr. Victoria Skirbo from the Seeds of Transformation and Healing Center.
Please say hello to Victoria for me.
I will, Dr. Lena. I will.
She might show up tonight. She was going to try to make it.
I hope so. I like an astrology matches events, like how we sort of sync it together. Just kind of like the end of the week sort of wrap up session of, we're thinking of making a WTF spread. If you all have.
Yeah. Whiskey Tango Foxtrot.
That's WTF.
That was a great album, Volko album, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. But that's kind of our thing. And then on Sunday morning, I do Time Out with Giblets, where we pick an oracle card and kind of see what's going on with the week ahead. And I'll be back for more.
I almost hate to ask you this, Ona, with the egg prices the way they are. Have you done an ovomancy on Musk?
I haven't. And I haven't found that the energy without the printed chart underneath it is as good. And I don't have a printer anymore. Oh. And last time I went to the store, there were no eggs. And this is just the closest store to me is Whole Foods. So their egg section is small to begin with. And I just don't want to use eggs right now.
Yeah.
Because then they're going to tell me their story, and I don't think it's good. I don't think they're happy.
I have got an announcement. I'm going to be doing a once-a-month conversation without cards with Erica Robinson, and her channel is In the Company of Cards. But we have a once-a-month. We've done 2. So if you're interested in those conversations, you can check out her channel in the company of cards.
And the Hogalee has moved from Saturday to Wednesday.
Oh, good. Lucky you're on the case. Yes. Wednesday. We were so institutionalized, with the Saturday night.
Thank you, Roberta.
So they're on Hogarth's channel every Wednesday night, 7 p.m. EST.
Nice.
So it's much better for me getting up early on a Thursday morning than a Sunday morning. Yeah. It's great.
Johnny, how's your classes?
Classes are great. The next one starts June 1st through 6 through July the 6th. If you want to reserve a spot, we're just taking reservations for right now. No payments, no none of that. So if you want to reserve a spot, just email me, tarotapprentice@gmail.com if you want to reserve your spot for the June 1st Beginner's Tarot.
It's really good. It is really good.
I try.
He's a good teacher.
Yes.
Oh,
He's so good with all the nuances of the card meanings and really good. Thank you, Peggy. Really good at teaching how they relate together too, and not getting overwhelmed by that, because that's one of the hardest things to learn, I think.
yeah.
Miss Becca, you got anything going on?
Well, yeah, but it's kind of an invitation as well, if I may. So you know how my birds, well, they're not my birds.
They're your birds.
The crows, myth and fable. Well, they had a baby a while back. I couldn't figure out a name for it that was gender neutral, so I just named it Baby Hex. So now I have myth, fable, and Baby Hex. And so I feed them every day. And I've just been, Stephanie and I are always chatting on TikTok and stuff. And I've just been getting so frustrated with all the stuff that's been going on and just the insanity of everything. So I came up with a plan, and anybody that wants to join, feel free to do so. So this is what I've been doing. I've had a huge bag of roasted, unsalted peanuts that I give them every day when I'm out in the garden. And I've been telling them all about that asshole in the house.
Yeah, thank you.
Every single day. I've been telling the crows, and it is my goal for anybody that wants to join. Go tell the crows, because I am planning to build an army. So next time we're holding a press conference, he's going to get shit bombed by a bunch of birds, because crows are petty and they're very, very smart. So that is my plan.
Don't they call it a murder of crows?
Yes,
it's the murder of crows.
The murder of crows.
For him to get shit on by a murder of crows, that would just be, because I'm just so frustrated. I'm like, just give me a sign, please. So feed the crows, tell them all about Trump, get them on the chest, and let's see what happens.
Talk to the birds.
Thank you, Jenny, Karen, and Judy.
Yeah, they bring gifts all the time, but a while back they had left this, which I bleached it. It was a rib bone, and I bleached it because I don't know where they got it from, so I just have it up on my little desk here. But yeah, they're super
cool. Crows brought it.
The crows brought it. Yeah, they left it up here on the deck. So yeah, they're pretty cool. So, I feed them every day. Tell them all the problems. I'm like, go tell your friends and have your friends tell their friends and spread the word and get gossip.
Oh, I am so into it. Because
I think you need a name like
Australia that when the English first came, they couldn't believe the bird sounds in Australia. We have these mad wild birds, and they're big, and the galahs sort of say fuck, right, like this. And the joke is that's where the Australian accent came from.
Yeah,
I think the baby needs a name like myth and fable, maybe myth, fable, and propaganda.
No, I think Baby Hex is heaven.
Yeah, I named it Baby Hex because I don't know. You can't tell the sexes without capturing the bird and sexing it, so
mind you, there's these amazing bird apps now. You could probably photograph it if you have the app, and it goes this is a fledgling that's 12 weeks old and it's a female.
Yes.
They do everything.
Well, I watched them when baby Hex was born, because they were nested right here in the tree in the property behind me in that yard. And they've gotten to the point now to where if I'm downstairs in my office and I haven't fed them, they will come to the window and start screaming at me, like right up to the window where I'm sitting and start screaming. So I just go out there and feed them their peanuts and tell them all my problems. I'm like, you go get that, man. You go get it.
They'd have a network.
Yeah. They're very smart. So I'm telling you guys, let's start a crow army. Go feed the crows.
It's brilliant. It's so Game of Thrones with the raven.
I know, right?
Thank you, Mike. And for those who don't know, Autumn's kitty is Boo Boo's Zen kitty.
Yep,
my
Bailey Boo. Bailey, Boo Boo's and Katie. And his brother is Brave Sir Alfred of Pumpkin. So
Una, I'm assuming, had to go check on the Gibmeister.
I had to spread a little kibble around because he was being starting to cry.
Oh my God. No, I'm a dog granny and a dog auntie. I don't want to own any animals anymore. And I remember my mother at some point said that, darling, there comes a point where you don't want anything with a mouth or an anus. And I'm so there.
Yes. And he's got a hemorrhoid.
I rest my case.
Dog said he's got a hemorrhoid.
I'm happy to mind them.
He's a little old man. He's lactose intolerant, deaf, hemorrhoid. It's that time.
Well, my only announcements, if you'd like a reading with Jinlin Tarot, go to jinlintarot.com. I have openings in June, and in October, I'm doing a healing energy seminar, working from the astral body back into the physical, because the astral body has the memory of everything healthy. There's a technique behind it. I get asked this all the time during personal readings. I don't know if I'll be able to do it. Yes, you will. There's a technique behind it. So it's a lot of fun if you would like to learn another form of healing energy work. It's quite powerful. And I don't know, I like to think I'm a pretty good teacher. I know how to explain things and make sure that everybody's getting it. So you want to come to Portland, get registered before June, because the cutoff time is right around the 1st of June.
No, and I've heard your workshops are fabulous, Jen.
Oh, really. Thank you. We have a lot of fun working with like-minded people that are there, making new friendships, and then it's always fun watching people be surprised that they can do it. You know, it's a lot of fun watching their faces.
Yeah. In the comments, Renee says about crows, oh, I don't like them because when I was little, Mum told us they sat on the phone wires and then reported to Santa if we were bad. So she thinks of them as snitches.
That's a trauma.
Well,
now go the crows.
I just think they're awesome.
I do too. I love them.
Only slightly adjacent to that, but I just love sharing this story. I had a really good friend who was from New Zealand, but that doesn't really matter. Go into it. And she said when she was growing up, her mother stopped her from like opening the dishwasher when it was running, and she said, "No, there's a dragon in there, and you don't want to let the dragon out." And the dragon's name was Tarragon.
Oh my God.
Like the
Some
spice.
parents have a lot to answer for, don't they, really?
Well, in honor of my birthday, since I'm 64, I'm getting closer to retirement. Will I be able to draw anything in Social Security when I retire? Is it going to be around to draw from?
So when are you eligible in the US? 65?
Well, you can start drawing earlier, but 65 usually. I'm going to wait till I'm like 69, 70 to start because it jumps quite a bit for me if it's still there.
I've got the wrong cards. I had my nasty cards out. I've got to get my nice cards.
Yeah, I know.
It's my subtle way of asking, is Social Security going to stay intact? Yeah, you can start drawing at 62.
Oh my God.
Thank you, Patty. Asking for a friend, I'll say. What you getting, Autumn?
For now, yes, but and the but is the inequality, the staggering inequality and corruption that's going on. It's the as there's a stretch between the ultra rich pulling prices up and everybody, so the middle class eroding. They're gonna, and unless we can do something drastic to get some fairness back in the system, will you get something? Well, probably, but how much is our money going to be worth is more the issue. So, but for now, it's okay. Just, yeah, but things just a big old, it's like being on the rack between the inequality. Just, that's what it's doing to the body politic. That's what I'm getting.
What you getting, Lena?
Well, not bad with a wriggle in the middle, right? Which is okay. So it'll be a bit of a trade-off from the social contract of now, what people expect and where it's going. That's why I'm kind of glad you said you're not looking at it straight now, because there'll be an offer if you went now that you wouldn't be mad about. But further out, I love this, and I swear it genuinely came up, Queen of Pentacles.
Oh, really?
But it might also not be related to Social Security. It could be that you're blessed in the sort of work you do and you can keep working, in a way with this. But it does suggest being comfortable further out.
By the way, for those who, I get annually reports on Social Security, how much I've paid in and how much I can draw at depending on what year I retire. They're advising people to hang on to those reports because they are jacking up the system some. So if they start losing track of what you paid in,
copy them.
Jacking up the system some, Jen? Just
a little bit. Firing
that money's
millions of people. What you get, Nona?
I get for you specifically patients, but I do get that they're making big changes. So you could be that you're grandfathered in. And there's going to be some cuts. Ace of Pentacles. Oh, come on. King of Swords. So like the law, King of Swords, Knight of Swords. This is that asshole. You know who that is. Knight of Swords. Cutting. Eight of Pentacles. It's hard to get off the table here. The work they've been doing, right? So they're in the system there. And the next card is the office, the Social Security office. So they're in there manipulating it. The next card was death. Your four cards are patience, Page of Cups, Four of Cups. So if you wait a little bit longer, then like I'm going to project to maybe 68, 69. If you wait a little bit longer, there's your reward.
They're talking about raising, like right now, my age is 69 to 70 to retire. And they're talking about raising it to like 72, 73.
I think, yes, they will, yes. And that your reward is there.
And Jen, that's not the small part of it either. Now they're talking about transferring all of Social Security to Twitter.
Oh God.
Oh, don't.
I am not kidding you right now. I am not kidding you right now.
Thievery with the money.
Save
I'm
up your
getting that.
pearls. Yeah.
All of Social Security to a private social media platform. Yeah.
Thievery. I get that I get it in celebrations, but it's going to be constricted. It's going to be smaller than what I think it'll be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Going to make what they're planning to do to it is going to make people very emotional. What you getting, Becca?
Oh.
House, snake, and bear. There's a problem with the offices. The administration is lying about the resources that are available. They're causing trouble for the resources that are available. It could be the local offices or the Office of Social Security in general, which is going to have problems. The resources are there. It's just going to be
A run around.
It's just going to be trouble and a problem. Overall, yes. But there's going to be
find an office to register for it.
Mm-hmm.
What you getting, Johnny?
I got Ehwas reversed in radio. This is a death or an unwanted change, and this is basically help and teamwork. So you'll be fine. This is also a communication card, communicating with the things that you need. Your voice will always be your power because that's what God gave you in order to make a room for you here on this earth. So you will always be provided for. So I wouldn't ever worry that part. If all else fails, you come live with us. But you will always be provided for. So that part is fine. But the unwanted change is possibly like a pushing of the goalpost, because I got the deadline perfect, which would be waiting till the last minute to have to do something. So if you can eke it out at a certain point, a certain date that's further away from 65, it would serve you better.
Exactly. And I got that unwanted change too. You know.
So
Which
me and my
everyone-
poor cats can move in with Johnny and his niece and brother. Right, Braxy?
Just need some Benadryls because one of us is allergic around here.
Trump had a physical on Friday, and of course, his White House doctor, Dr. Feelgood, whoever it is, said that he's got excellent health. Does he?
Is he
really?
Is he 185 pounds and 6'7" now?
Yeah.
Just asking.
I mean, he's still alive. So how? I mean, you can't kill Henri. I get it, but Lord.
He said his 187 pounds. What is it?
I said, are they saying that he's 187 pounds and 6'4" now? Because before it was something ridiculous, like 215 pounds or something. I'm like, dude, they're at least 100.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
What
One of your boobs alone is 110 pounds.
Yeah.
It's like-
He's got all kinds of Big Macs under there, Johnny.
so?
Pulling out
Did
the
he do
rifle.
another cognitive test too? Are we going to hear the results of his cognitive exam as well?
It'll be all
constantly.
doctored up with pictures of elephants.
Oh, they've already said that he passed the cognitive test with flying color, and who believes that?
I mean,
It's not a pass or fail test.
how soon is he going to be parading it around like he did the last time? Like he just passed an IQ test. Like he thinks a cognitive test is an IQ test.
Yeah.
I've never seen anybody be so proud of being able to identify a giraffe and an elephant.
That's an ink pen. That's an ink pen. That's an ink pen.
Okay.
That's an ink pen.
Okay.
You got it. Yeah, you.
Are we doing
I was
health
laughing
spread
at-
or truth spread? Because is there some kind of report? Because nothing's going to come out that's true.
So are we looking at what his health's really like?
What's it really like?
Let's see what his health really is.
He didn't die like the Simpsons said on April 12th, which was yesterday. He didn't die like the Simpsons said he would, but
I have a bag.
Maybe whatever he dies from, he contracted yesterday.
You know what?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
That's horrible. I shouldn't say that.
This is really weird. I have pulled 9 cards and like a set of 3, set of 3, set of 3, and all I know that they're lying about what is wrong with him, but it's just layer upon layer of dense barriers on how hidden.
Yeah.
And it's like, cards, thank you, but I know that, but I just keep getting the barriers.
Mm-hmm.
Weird.
Interesting.
They told him what he wanted to hear. There's the 9 of Cups there. Mind you, what he keeps around him are yes people, because he doesn't like pushback. He doesn't like confrontation, because he thinks he's the biggest, baddest, best thing that's ever been on earth. So the 9 of Cups telling him what he wants to hear. The 3 of Pentacles, this is not just his doctor. This is everybody around him. This is in collaboration, because the Emperor has no clothes, and you have to keep convincing him of that he is the greatest looking thing that has ever walked. Everybody else can see it. We know he's not healthy because he's 5,000 pounds. But at the same time, he's 80,000 years old and he's still alive. So, I mean, there's that too. But there's the Temperance. This is bad for him. You cannot keep deluding a person because it doesn't help them heal. And so they tell him what he wants to hear, and that's what he pays them for, or keeps them around for, I should say.
I'm not sure he saw
Was
a real
that 9 of Cups, Johnny? Was that penguins in that image?
That was the Tariff penguins at that.
He went to McDonald's Island for his physical.
Oh, Lord.
Well, Melania looks like the Hamburglar in her inauguration outfit, so that just seems like that was pretty okay. He's got something wrong with his belly. There's something wrong in there.
It's burning. There's a lot of burning.
You feel burning?
Yeah.
I got the pregnant, like that is very significant belly pain. And I actually got belly pain. And then the Queen of Wands on top of that. So fire in the belly. I see that connection. Taking at least some medication for it. I swear this, and anything that has to do with vessels is messed up. Cardiac, veins, anything like that.
Yep, the intravenous. He's getting a lot of stuff intravenously. Saline, B vitamins, you name it. He's getting all kinds of stuff. So he keeps showing up with the bruises on the backs of his hands.
Yeah, that's IV extravasation. So he's probably getting some IV stuff, and because he's when they say he shits himself, he has some kind of bowel problem. He probably does, and he doesn't have any electrolytes, and he has to go IV. Dog.
You're getting that too, Becca, with the snake bowel problems.
Bowel and heart.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting. Bowels here.
Yeah.
And this is my card for heart. I program my cards differently. So this is my intestinal tract, colon, intestinal tract. May have cancer.
Oh, fun stuff.
But definitely got problems there. He's doping up a lot. He's drinking a lot. I know he says he doesn't drink. He's got back problems out the wazoo.
Mm-hmm.
His mental health, they're not sure what's going on there. He's just nuts.
Oh, did anyone notice the other night when was it the Italian? I have a meme of it of someone, but it was the Italian, or maybe it was the PM of Italy, but there was a translator right there. Here we go. Yeah. Trump said that the United States and Italy have been allies since the time of ancient Rome. And I know you can't see it, but there's this, I know you can't see it, but the look on this translator's face where she just goes,
Oh, no.
Et tu, Brute?
Isaac Neutron.
There you go, Johnny. Isaac Neutron invented electricity. Say that again.
Oh, God. Well, I use the film noir cards just for fun, and I only pulled 2. And he got the edge of doom.
Yes.
On the edge of doom. And you only live once.
Thank God.
Those
No
are cool
reincarnating for you.
Those are cool cards. There's yeah.
Very cool cards. I love them.
I think
We gave you a chance. You're not going to reincarnate.
Yeah, he's getting poop transplants. Yeah.
So Trump is offering.
Wait, I didn't. Johnny didn't go. Johnny didn't go, and I didn't go either. So go, Johnny.
Okay.
No, I went. You go ahead.
Oh, okay. I did a box spread. Main 2 things I'm seeing right off the bat: colon and the intestines, any organ that winds and coils, and the heart. Blockages in the colon because he's full of shit.
Yeah.
And blockages to the heart. This is also in reference to the head.
Yeah.
Issues around the head, like the message, the signal is blocked.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But here's, you know what? Like I said, I'm not Mother Teresa. I hope he fires the doctor and hires RFK Jr. That's that's one good way to get rid of him.
Don't get me started on that bed.
Please give him measles.
Please feed him a whale.
No, he would have been vaccinated.
I wrote to a connoisseur.
Orange and polka dots. That's not good. No.
Can you imagine?
I did want to mention that the one thing they are sending him for is a colonoscopy, which for his age makes sense. But it's funny that that's the one thing that they're also admitting to, which means, Shady Vance is going to get his 1 hour of being
1 hour be president.
You know what though? Not necessarily, because when he had his first term, when they took him in for a colonoscopy, even when he was almost dying in Walter Reed, he never handed power over to Pence ever.
Yeah, when he had COVID, supposedly.
If they have to put him under anesthesia, then they could be like on standby. So he can be like in twilight, I guess. But a colonoscopy, especially if there's something there. Was there a report? They were actually sending him for a colonoscopy? Maybe
that's what I read in the news.
Maybe that's what we're reading on, that colonoscopy.
Yeah. Let's ask, will he let Vance in his couch be VP or be president for an hour?
Oh, ew.
You got Trump and Musk or Vance in his couch.
And the rubber glove, I can't remember where that fitted in.
What was that? I saw Vladimir Futon, I think. It was really funny. I just can't. I can't take that person. I can't take him seriously.
So really,
and he has a problem with single cat ladies.
Now he's at war.
And let's not forget that when Hannity, I think it was, asked Trump flat out, "Who is your successor? Is Vance your successor?" And Trump said, "No."
Yeah.
I'm genuinely curious, because we all know that he's a malignant narcissist. Yeah. And I'm not a psychologist. It's not my field of whatever. But is it part of the pathology for a malignant narcissist like Trump to be completely just ignorant of their own mortality? Like, does he look in the mirror and it's like a funhouse mirror where he
it's a good question. Yeah. What does he see?
Yeah, you're 78 years old, you're grotesquely obese, you have one foot in the grave. The elevator that's supposed to go up here is stuck in the basement and it's flooded. Like and he is, you know what I mean? There's almost like he has no sense of his own mortality, like he's just gonna live forever. You know, like, just, it's crazy. I'm just wondering if anybody knows.
Well, with narcissists, I mean, the whole point is that they are the center. and everyone, no one else is actually a completely separate entity. Everything is supposed to be in deference, in action to aid him. It is, I mean, that is actual full-blown narcissism. And because they cannot accept their own insignificance. And if you ever get a real narcissist it's rare that you can get them to get therapy, but if you do, then they have such a breakdown. If there's any crack in that wall they have built up for so long. So he's not.
Look at Rupert Murdoch,
Yeah.
who's 93 and still can't give up the reins.
Yeah.
Nasty people live forever.
Yeah, they get preserved in acid, you know. Everyone else dissolves in acid and they eat it.
I don't think he's going to let anybody else have it. I get he hangs on to his power. What are y'all getting?
Yeah.
Emperor, doesn't matter how much chaos there is. Full. He doesn't like Vance. Vance is beneath him.
Yeah.
Trump's like sectionals, not sofas.
I get no, because he's worried that there's going to be a betrayal. That he would be betrayed.
Interesting.
If I give him the reins, they're going to take it away from me completely.
Because he is.
Because that's what he would do.
Yeah.
That's what he would do. You know, so I don't get the mice here, which would tell me that he's worried about it. It's the anchor in the middle, which tells me this is persistent. The way that he does to others, he expects it to be done to him. Low life.
In your grand tableau of J.D. Vance, it shows J.D. Vance wants that position. And he's willing to use different kinds of amendments to get that position.
He wants the 25th. He wants the 25th his ass. And it's only going to, what's it going to take? He's tanking the economy. China said, we don't need America. You know, people are dumping bonds, U.S. bonds left and right. What is it going to take? Because the only person that has been honest and said anything was Rand Paul. And he did not once mention people's 401ks disappearing. He did not once mention the unemployment rate. He did not once mention the rampant criminality or farmers suffering. Or all he worried about was 60 years that the Republicans lost power. I applaud him for his honesty.
Yeah, look, exactly.
You know?
However.
Thank you, by golly, Ollie. What you getting, Lena?
Well, interesting. I think I got 2 pages on the Hierophant. So I think he's going to try and put one or other of his sons in. He's going to go for full-blown.
Maybe he's going to put Big Balls or Little Lex in.
Interesting.
2 pages. And then he'll torture them if that's what he's thinking, you know, like it might be you, but it might not be you, you know. That's why I think there's 2. And it could even be the up-and-coming sociopath youngest one on the list.
What you getting, Johnny?
They haven't been present.
Story. There is Ansus and Tihuas. Ansus is the rune of Odin. This is the god rune, the wisdom rune, reversed. So this would be a representative of Donald Trump. Tihuas means courage and tenacity, the person who will step forward. The story, interestingly enough, how they came out together, though. Ansus would be Odin. Tihuas would be Tyr. Tyr sacrificed his hand for Odin's life, but it was for naught. Odin was destined to be killed, replaced Donald Trump. And then this guy came forth and said, I'll show courage and I'll step forth and protect you, even though it didn't help. But there's always someone, because he's dead now, Odin, there's always someone that wants to take the place and look like the hero. So whether he'll step forward or not, it didn't answer. It's saying to me, beware, because the person that is your VP that's supposed to be your most trusted wants to replace you. So that's what I think is really the big story there.
What'd you get, Ona?
After he dies, not while he's under anesthesia. Knight of Vessels. See him up there? See?
With his little tin hat on.
That's
It
him.
looks just like him.
He wants to go, right? He wants to go to the White House.
Sitting on a barrel.
And the next one is the ascent, the ascent of the blessed. So I could say anesthesia, or after he crosses the Rainbow Bridge and the tunnel. Oh, he's getting a colonoscopy. Oh, he's getting a colonoscopy.
It just looks so preposterous him sitting on that barrel.
But then I get the death card, and then I get the King of Berries, which is the King of Pentacles in this deck.
Oh.
So after he dies, or maybe during that colonoscopy.
When they're going into the tunnel.
Which deck is that?
The Bosch Tarot.
Bosch. Okay.
Strictly Trump family for me. I can't do anything else with this deck ever.
Right. Yeah.
It fits them for sure.
And I'd have to spend a week drawing clothes on the stuff to use it on my channel. By the way, I did get a warning from YouTube. They took one of my videos down, one of my early videos down for nudity.
Really?
In the last couple of months. Yeah.
Oh.
And it was the world card.
Wow.
She doesn't even have nipples. How's that new?
They haven't found me.
Exactly.
They haven't found me yet, so that's okay.
Well,
in
did
the
everybody
comments, sorry, just before we move on, the PA Governor Shapiro's home set on fire.
Yeah,
Does
they think
anyone
of
know
arson.
any more about that? Can you let us know?
Yeah, they've got a guy they're charging.
They've got a guy.
Yeah, they've already got a guy that they're charging with terrorism, arson, attempted murder, all kinds of stuff.
Wow. Okay.
For entertainment purposes only, YouTube. Well, Trump is offering Greenland citizens $10,000 each to sign on to being a part of the U.S. Is he going to get any takers? They kicked Vance out of there already.
I think that's real.
Did you see that the woman who's in charge of the US base in Greenland got fired? She's a military leader. She got fired because of him being embarrassed. That's why she was fired. Isn't that shocking? She was the leader of the military base.
I can't. Oh my God. So they're gonna. This is what they said during some other crisis to get us mad about this. This is a psyop. They're offering $10,000 to Greenland citizens to vote yes. Pretty much.
I think they're saying it's annual.
Oh.
I get okay. So
stimulus checks that we're never going to get.
Yeah, I think it's a minority. Sure, I say this all the time. If the aliens invaded the Earth and wanted to destroy everything, and we all went into hiding, there's some humans that would tell the aliens where everybody is. There's always somebody who wants to go to the other side because they think that they can be in with the good people, the house slave, if you will. There's the 10 of Cups. So yes, you do have some group of people who would, because everybody in Greenland doesn't like Greenland. So, I mean, everybody in Tennessee doesn't like Tennessee. There's the Page of Wands. This is a minority. The 6 of Swords trying to transition into something else. Donald Trump has a certain power over a certain people. Everything he says, they take to heart. It's not just here, it's everywhere because mentality is not really that unique. The same kind of mentality that exists here exists everywhere. There's nice people and horrible people everywhere. So yes, some people would love to take him up on that offer. Is the offer valid? No, just like his watches and his sneakers. So there's that.
Shall I?
Yeah, sure.
They are so sick of these guys. They are so sick of Trump and Vance and just all of these guys. And they don't trust them. They don't trust that a check would arrive. They don't trust that they would be treated fairly. They're watching Trump not only try to deport anyone who wasn't lily white, but what's to stop him from getting rid of all of them? This is just discussed. They're very concerned about what he would do. It actually feels like they're going to come up with some other ways to kind of basically some either funny lines or some ways to just make it perfectly clear that what they think of him, which drives him into a frenzy of stupidity, which is not hard. That's what I'm getting.
They're going to push buttons. What's Braxy doing back there, Becca?
She climbed up on the bed. She's not a baby anymore. She doesn't get up there and cry for me to put her up there. Even though she was big enough to get up there.
Did she really do that? She's like, and asked you to give her a boost?
When she was a baby, yeah. These two were we were in the after show together, and she would put her legs up on the couch on the bed.
And look at her.
She's 70 feet tall and won't get up on the thing. All she has to do is just lift the legs. She ain't even got to jump up there. But she'll put the two front paws and then whine until you help her get her butt.
Like a baby brain.
It's like the equivalent of walking upstairs for us. She could have just very easily, but
she
no.
just can't lift the back part. She didn't know about that part.
Well, at least it's smarter than the pug that we had. The pug would walk under a coffee table and not be able to work out how to get out.
Yeah.
Oh no!
It's open on 4 sides. He'd stand there for an hour.
Oh my God! Poor thing.
Pugs take the prize.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. I'd like to say something. I've got 3 cards here, but about this issue because it's very close to my heart in the sense I've watched what mining companies do to Aboriginal communities for bauxite mining and stuff, and they offered a lot more money than that. Okay, but they offered money, and inevitably some in the community, to Johnny's point, would say, oh, well, we'll be able to afford this and that, which has been a total disaster, of course, for 40 years, and now the country is permanently polluted. The other case close to my heart is the Cook Islands, and the Chinese government has been going into all the Pacific Islands, tiny little islands. They've got like 3,000, 5,000 people, and so it doesn't cost much to buy people off, right? So it's like, oh, we'll pay for this road and we'll put a school in here, and now we want to drill off your reef. Now, for those communities, they're subsistence farmers in Tariff, and they actually have a quality of life because every family can fish. So it doesn't matter if you've got no money, you can feed a family of 15 because you can go out and get tuna and snapper this big, and now that China wants to do this drilling. So I get serious worries when I hear these deals. But I think the problem is with all of this stuff is they've been so rude to people. If they'd been more polite, the money could have spoken. They could have possibly enticed 10% or 25% of people or something about this. But because they were so vulgar and so just old-fashioned rude, and then I'm pleased to say, I think the judgment is that temperance will prevail over this issue in Greenland because the world is looking, right? If it was Greenland 5 years ago, 10 years ago, they might have got away with it.
I'm sorry that I wasn't here for the question, but was this on Trump offering to pay each Greenland resident a $10,000 check?
Yes.
And here's MAGA thinking that they're going to get money from all the stuff Doge found?
Those savings, yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
It's horrifying, isn't it, really?
Anybody else want to go?
I mean, we're talking.
I'm getting this is all a psyop. I got the 8 of Swords, and this is in this deck. It's the Santa Muerta deck. It's all the swords are just pointing at they're not around somebody, and typically that card is like you've sort of locked yourself into a kind of mental nightmare. And then the Seven of Cups after it. So they're just shining lights up their ass. They're not even, they're not doing any of this. This is a psyop to get us diverted into a story so we don't pay attention to what's really going on.
Those $5,000 checks, those were made up online. Some MAGA conspiracy theorist made that up, saying that Doge found all this waste, fraud, and abuse, and everybody was going to get, first it was 5,000, then it was 8,000, then it was 10,000. And now it turns out he's trying to negotiate how he's going to pay Greenland $10,000 per resident as he's tanking our economy and having people lose their jobs. He's going to give,
as he said, he hasn't found as much as he had hoped he would find. Yeah, Greenland thinks, where are you stealing the money from? Yep, nope, this would blow up in the loser's face big time. All it's going to do is make everybody emotional. I get a big no. This is fighting words. Think he's insane, not accepting his offer. And they've got an offer for him because they have protection from other people. So, yeah, this isn't going to go too well. They're looking at constricting Trump somehow.
What an embarrassment. I'm telling you guys, go tell the crows. Go tell the crows.
I talk to birds. I know it's weird, but I talk to birds. I tell them messages, go and do, but that's great. I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Did everybody go?
I wasn't here for the question, so don't mind me. Oh no, she's got to go yell at somebody now.
Leonard Leo and the surviving Koch brother are suing Trump over the tariffs.
Yeah.
Yeah, Leonard Leo of Heritage Society and Project 2025 and the remaining Koch brother. Well, that's my question. Why? Why are they turning on him?
Because of the tariffs. It's because of the tariffs.
Yeah.
But why?
Yeah.
I mean,
you knew this fool was going to do all this.
They knew he wanted to wreck the economy. Aren't they doing some insider trading and making billions off of it, like all of his little cronies in the White House? Why? Why are they doing this?
Why are they suing him?
Over tariffs. Why?
While we have a moment of quiet here, I just want to mention that, do you remember when Dumpy put tariffs on China and China turned around and did reciprocal tariffs of 34%? It was kind of weird. 34? Okay. It's how many convictions he has.
Felonies.
And Trump has as a felon. They put tariffs. China put tariffs on the U.S. for every one of Trump's felony convictions.
I should like that kind of pettiness, but normally, but not.
China has a growing middle class and a growing economy. They don't have to sell to anybody else. They've got enough people in their country. Thank you, SW. They've got enough people in their own country that they can kind of set their own economy right now.
Why? Because of foreign influence and leaders of industry. And this is not coming necessarily from them because of them. Their circle of people that they know is like, hey, we're losing $15 over here. This is not good because, $15 leads to $16 and $16 leads to 20 million very easily. They're worried about their own pocketbooks, just like we were talking about earlier with Rand Paul's worried about his seat, not tanking the economy. This is called the Banned Book Tarot, and this one is The Emperor. 1984 is the book that was banned. And so there's your Emperor, the Page of Pentacles. There's agreements between those foreign people, the Six of Swords, trying to get out of this any way they can. They, along with the MAGA, didn't sign up for this. And then it ends in the Knight of Cups. They need to find some sort of way to make an image statement to say, hey, we stand against this. This needs to be corrected. They can't tell him that directly because he doesn't like pushback and ideas that are not his. And so they have to do it this way and then make a little noise, and then they look tough. And then he can back down.
What you getting, Lena?
Well, I get explosive situation, shadow ruler, and classified knowledge. I agree with Johnny with these cards in the sense of they're actually not doing it just for themselves. They can do the insider trading and make billions. What they're concerned about is global finance being dragged into this. If it was just the US, they could move their money offshore and do this. It's a drag on the global economy going forward for years, and they're not happy. And I think with these cards, particularly the Shadow Ruler, they actually think someone else is pulling his strings. Well, they know, they've met him, so they know he's an idiot. So they know someone else is pulling the strings, and they don't trust that person. Now, whether that's Peter Navaro or whatever, they're not happy with the arrangement, right? They don't like the arrangement.
Because he's playing chicken.
Mm.
And the problem with that, Johnny, is they already know his game.
Yeah.
They already know his game. He's done it twice already. Now they're waiting for the third. Tariffs. Watch the market crash. Everybody buys up. Okay, I'm putting a pause. Then he does it again. That's twice. Now he's put a pause on it for a third time. They know your game. He's a one-trick pony. He's not hard to figure out. He's not a genius. He's a moron.
And see, for these guys that we're talking about, the surviving Koch brother and friend, they've already got billions. They will make more billions. They want power and certainty. It's not just about another billion here and there. They've got that. And that's what the trumpet doesn't get.
Mm-hmm. Can
What's getting Autumn?
Basically, I got something similar to what Johnny and Lena were getting, but the slightly different slant that I'm getting is with all of this sudden change that it's basically like a gift for Democrats. It's making it by changing things bit by bit, by eroding, they can get more of what they want. But with all of this sudden change in your face, it ends up giving power to getting more Democrats in power.
And they'd hate that. It actually goes against their agenda. Yeah.
Yep. And women as well, and people of color. No. The emperor must be strong. Please.
What you get, Nona?
The question was, why are they suing him over the tariffs? I got Justice, and I got the Eight of Swords. This is the Klimt deck. So Justice came up suing him. Eight of Swords. So it looks like they got themselves locked into something that they have to do what they have to do.
What do you mean that leopards are going to eat my face?
Yeah.
Right.
What do you mean?
And then I get like Nine of Pentacles. So whatever they are trying to do, I thought it might be a woman's influence, but they're sort of misogynistic, right?
Yeah.
So, they're going to, whatever it is, they're going to pursue it, and they're doing it because they're going to get a reward from it.
What you getting, Becca?
I get no money cards. I get that they had a successful agreement, and he's being way too disruptive, and the anger and resentment and pushback is growing when this was supposed to just happen peacefully, fly under the radar so nobody would notice.
Mm.
You know, but there's growing anger. against their agenda. But they thought they had a nice little agreement with him.
Ah, yes.
Do you see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
they made Frankenstein, and now they're surprised it's eating their faces. Like,
yeah.
So that's what I get. No money cards at all. I get that it's more of a contract, an agreement that they have, and there's growing pushback and anger. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I get they're as corrupt as Trump is, but this is creating too much chaos and sending the economy too wonky. So now they want to grow and heal the economy. They've been laying low on this, knowing that this is what he was offering, what he was going to do. And they're also looking at probably how many people are going to get indicted over insider trading and jacking it all up. This is what they long for. It's just a timing thing. They didn't want it this fast, this soon. And they feel like, the judgment's going to be passed on all of them for constricting the economy so much, throwing us into a depression.
I don't know if you saw this, Jenny, but there's been an article that has been floating around, and it's an old article. Like, I want to say from it looks like it was photo scanned, but you never know these days with AI. But it's from the, I think, late 70s, early 80s about Donald Trump's IQ test, because he needed to take it to get into that military school or whatever. And it claims, guess how high his IQ was?
5.
Yeah, it was saying 73. That
I
his
was going to say 70 something. He's in the 70s.
I was like, that's kind of high, but
no, that's about right.
Little Isaac Neutron.
Yeah. Yeah. So I had to go look it up, like what is 73, and all this stuff. I was like, wow, that's really him. It should be lower.
That's a camera. That's an elephant. I'm so smart. I'm the smartest man there ever was. Wait, I have to do little hands. I'm the smartest man.
Well, I've got to go now, Jen, off into my day.
Oh, thank you so much for joining us, Lena.
Total fun, and have a fabulous birthday, doll.
Thank you so much.
Take care.
And I want to say goodbye to everyone in the chat as well. Have a good time. Ciao, ciao.
Bye, thank you. So, insider trading. Are they going to indict anybody for insider trading after manipulating the stock market?
It would have to be in New York City, or it would have to be Letitia James. Something like that. Because Pam Bondi is away.
Right, because of where Wall Street is. New York, Letitia James could go after somebody. Like MTG, who got into Congress with 1.5 million, now has almost 750 million, I think.
Uh-huh.
How'd that happen, MTG?
Gifts and mystery. You have to prove it first. If you can prove it, then sure. But I think Cory Booker said we need an investigation, or there needs to be one started. And I love to see that now they're starting to use their words and come out and say things. This is what the whole bash the Democrats, us, the hashtag bash the Democrats, this is what we want. We want you to come out and work for us like you said you were. So this is Gebo. This means gifts, or basically insider tips. And then this is Perthu, which means mystery, something that they're hiding though. And so you have to prove it. If you can prove it, then go for it.
Shall I?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's making quite a bit of money. And they're just right now, this insider trading, this kind of thing has been going on for a long time, actually. And on both sides of the aisle. Not with everybody, but with most. And but I am getting that your MTGs and a lot of these people who are in government specifically, they're not going to prosper. But we might have to wait until Democrats have power before we can really start getting justice. But I'm not even sure what form this not prospering is going to take, but it feels, I don't know. I've also, an unrelated note, but I just keep feeling like there's something going on behind the scenes, that something even worse that Dumpy is doing. And I can't quite put my finger on it, but I just get this feeling underneath a lot of these readings. But that's what I get.
What you getting, Becca?
There's a woman already on this.
Mm-hmm.
Which I know it's not Pam Bondi. She's not going to do a damn thing. The only person that I can think of who has been lucky in getting someone for fraud, passionate people, or people that desire to gamble with fraud that applies to her, would be Letitia James. I do not know if Letitia James would have jurisdictions, but it is the New York Stock Exchange, and that's where the fraud happened. I'm getting there's a woman, there's already an investigation, they're looking into it, because the risk, the gamble was fraudulent. And it's her coming forward with something new. New woman, she has a message or she's delivering something. She's visiting somewhere. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So I don't know. Someone please correct me if I'm wrong, but it's a woman that's coming forward, and she saw this for what it was, fraud. So I don't know if it's her. That's the only person I can think of. So I'm just throwing names out there. Don't take me with, like I'm the authority. I'm just seeing a woman. So
I'm getting, as it's investigated, there's going to be a whistleblower too. So somebody is going to talk about all the money and all the sneaky stuff going on here. There will be legal problems for some, but they're going to look at all this sudden wealth, like bam, all of a sudden their lifestyles, sudden wealth. It is a woman crowning the reading that gets this going, but I also she gets some help from a whistleblower. So something that was said in the White House.
And listen, this is every time a bill has come up to stop trading within the halls of Congress, it has been shot down by both sides. Majority Republican, but don't get it twisted. There have been plenty of Democrats that have signed on to not have that be a thing. So I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. If you're doing this, I don't care if you're Nancy Pelosi, Hakeem Jeffries. I don't care who you are. You need to be held accountable.
Or Martha Stewart, right?
Yeah, I mean, you sent Martha Stewart to jail. Yet we have members of Congress that have access to everything. Like I just saw in the comments, Marjorie Taylor Greene was worth a few $100,000, and all of a sudden she's worth $22 million. And AOC had a press conference, an interview the other day, and she was saying, I don't even think these people want to run for re-election. They're just grifting and defrauding and doing insider trading. So they're not here to represent their constituents. They're here to enrich themselves.
And mind you, they wanted to prosecute her for wearing a dress to the Met that she got donated to her.
Yep. Meanwhile, they're all insider trading. Let's not forget what happened during COVID with the freaking masks and everything else. All the people in the administration dumping all their stocks and purchasing a bunch of medical things.
So according to Google and this law firm on criminal defense, the SEC and the United States Justice Department are the primary places where you would get prosecuted for insider trading. However, you can be fined or sued civilly, and the New York Attorney General, whoever it is at the time, can actually indict you and have you arrested. The SEC cannot have you arrested, but the Department of Justice and the Attorney General of New York can have you arrested and indicted.
That's probably the woman that, I'm not saying she is. I just saw a woman that's already on it. looking into it. So
yeah,
I'm just telling you what the cards say.
So this week, the Democrats were having what they called shadow meetings because they can't get their committees to investigate anything. So they've been having shadow meetings to try to investigate a few things. I want to know, because I started thinking about it. It's like, do we have shadow people in the FBI and CIA and Intel that are also researching things that Trump would not like? Do we have anyone left in our government that, even though you got your Kash Patels and everybody in charge, do we have anybody behind the scenes in sort of a shadow government that's doing anything?
So these two fell out. This is the Three of Cups and the Fool. I would say yes, there is a community, and the community is growing as well. Not just growing, but the Three of Cups is a card of celebration. But it's not celebration as in the parties and the weddings and that type of thing. It's a cause for celebration. So you have done something to which you can then celebrate. So this is something that you celebrate because it was growth attached to it. And the Fool being Donald Trump. So yes, there are people here, and this is growing, and they are going to start showing results. Small, but still results. And what we need too at this time is evidence that somebody is at work back there. And so you'll start to see little bitty things. Take them as a win. They're small. Like there could just be an article here, or a whistleblower here, or a rumor here, or an interview here of a former such and such. But yes, there is some growth happening.
I get no. I get many have lost their jobs or will be losing their jobs. And did you see, I forget what department it was. I think it was the State Department or something. I just saw it briefly, that they're now demanding that the employees make an oath that they're Christian or some crap like that. Like, I mean, it's bizarre.
Loyal to Trump, probably.
No, it was something about Christianity in specific that saw.
You can be turned in for anti-Christian bias.
There you go, Johnny. That right there.
Turned into who?
Turned into your superiors.
Oh, please.
Yeah. So I'm kind of getting the same thing here. If there's people there, they're going to have to lay low because this is ending and job losses. So with the fox in the middle being work, employment. So they're trying to actively identify people, or even if there's a suspicion, which remember, these people are paranoid about their own shadow. So if there's even a suspicion, ixnay. So.
What you getting, Autumn?
Well, I agree that Becca, and that they have definitely been trying to get everybody out. Anybody who's not truly faithful to MAGA, trying to get them out. Then it got weird. I don't know what is going on with me tonight, but I just got this really weird energy, and that was the energy of the people in the CIA, parts of the FBI, who would be in any kind of position, be able to stay in their position. And it's almost, I mean, it just felt like these are scary people who would not like zero empathy, and it's almost like they would see what they could find out about Trump as like a game, like just like prove what they do. Like, I'm so good at this. Yeah, I could gather that. But I don't know that they would do anything with it. It's very, like I said, this is really weird. It's very cold energy. I wouldn't hold my breath for now, but actually I would hold my breath. That's what I'm getting.
What you get, Nona?
I do get, the question was, is there like a shadow investigation going on, sort of cataloging all the bullshit? I do get that. There are people doing that. I get the King and Queen of Swords or Cups were the first two cards that came out. So it seems like that's the King and Queen of Cups. It's an organized group. This might be Bernie and AOC. Who knows? They've been out there doing that. And then I get Judgment, the Judgment card. And she's kind of looking up at the pair if you're using the direction. Two of Wands, Ace of Swords, and the Magician. So it's like the Magician you can interpret as they're trying to maybe cook up or embellish or, maybe be hyperbolic. But I think that there are people that have got all of this cataloged. And yeah, they're probably cherry picking the ones that they think are doing, are going through their social media data and see something they don't like, and you get fired.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Ona, it tracks. They're making them all wear Donald Trump's golden head pin on their lapels. I mean, please, somebody roll out the Kool-Aid at this point, please.
So what do you think is on that head pin? Do you think there might be a little GPS or a chip or something that is doing a constant surveil on those people?
I wouldn't think that they would be smart enough to do that. But at this point, I just want them to all start doing keg stands with the Kool-Aid. I'm sick of it. Like, I am so sick of it.
I feel you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm with Johnny on this one. I think there's an inside person, a spy, someone on the inside that's harvesting all this. This would be the Queen of Wands for me is someone who's open and honest. It's an honest people who are harvesting information and holding it really close to their chest, waiting on just the right time to bring out all the stuff going on in the government. I think they do partner together with other people like them, and they seem to be hanging on through all the disruption and layoffs and everything. So they're securing information on Trump himself, manipulations that Russia did also, and they're a little hand-tied right now, but I do get that eventually it'll end up in court, some of the stuff that they are hanging on to.
Yeah.
So I would say, yes, we have some people in our intelligence that are trying to hang on. They're probably playing a part. Oh yeah, I'm loyal. Oh yeah, go rah Trump. Well, they document the crap out of him. So the Supreme Court ruled against Trump this week with Garcia trying to get him back from El Salvador. And it's the first time, like, what was it, like 9-0, where they were like, you can't send somebody down there without due process. Is the Supreme Court finally waking up and starting to flip on Trump? Because, he could pull a Netanyahu and try to just disband the Supreme Court. Is the Supreme Court flipping on Trump? Or is this just a one of?
I don't get a pattern. So it's not, I don't see this as something that they're consciously saying that they're going to go against his administration and everything he says. There's the Seven of Swords. So it's like when something's egregious, when something leaves a trail, because the Seven of Swords, you got 5, you drop 2. When you leave a trail of something that's obvious. I say that, and yet, everything else is obvious too. But in this case, when you leave a trail of something that is obvious, the Nine of Pentacles, something that has to be that egregious to where you can't vote any other way or rule any other way. The Nine of Wands, you are under that strain and that pressure. But the Seven of Cups, the loyalty and the verdicts are still kind of up in the air. They have many masters, these in particular people, and so you have to go with what your master says. And I don't think that they're being loyal to him. I don't think that they're being unloyal to him. I think that this is probably case by case basis on that.
Johnny just took the words right out of my mouth. They got plenty of buyers. Their loyalties lie with the buyers, or who put them there.
Those are Leonard Leo's who's suing Trump right now.
Those are gifts of abundance. And that's where they have their loyalty.
Yep.
So not to Trump. He's just the puppet. He's the Sharpie, like Johnny calls him. And he had that had to be so egregious for them to be like, yeah, no. At least make it look like you tried. And then we could have at least said, yeah, go ahead. But this wasn't even like, hey, like if he would have made it look like not so bad, they would have sided with him. The majority would, but just saying.
What you getting, Autumn?
When you said, they should maybe they should worry about Trump trying to disband the Supreme Court. These people, especially on the right in the Supreme Court, it has not even crossed their minds. They immediately would just, that would never, they wouldn't ask you flat out do you have Trump derangement syndrome, but they would just, because they are, and the mental image I got was like an ivory tower, as it were, or a spire. And the people in the court, on a little, I don't know, belfry? I don't know, but some little area. But the thing is, it's like the building is shrinking and the fronts of their feet are hanging off. But they're just still standing there like, I can do whatever I want. I'm just getting them being so full of themselves that, well, the emperor, and we do have to help the little people against the emperor sometimes, kind of. But the cards I'm getting are so weak and pathetic. Yes, I guess we'll think about that. I mean, it's good.
What you getting, Nona?
It's influenced by money. The Nine of Pentacles was, if I was going to say pull one card and say for this question, is the Supreme Court going to flip on him or turn on him? I'd say depends on how much they're going to pay you. Ace of Pentacles was the next card. So it's negotiable, apparently. Two of Wands and the Sun. And then the Eight of Pentacles at the bottom, which is they're, how does it benefit you?
That tracks though, Ona.
Hmm?
Because I said that tracks though, Ona, because the minute that Leonard Leo and the remaining Koch brother lawsuit makes it up to the Supreme Court, all those judges are going to remember who put them there, and they ain't gonna side with Trump.
Right. Right.
That was Leonard Leo and one of the Kochs.
On how it benefits themselves personally. He doesn't really.
They forgot they just installed the king, so he can just say, "I'm going to dismantle the Supreme Court. Who's going to stop me?"
He might if he's.
There's three of them that look at the structure of the law and how to protect that. The rest of them, they're off doing whatever, yippee. And like he could steal whatever. They just don't care. They would walk away. It's all about, what are you offering me?
Yeah.
Wow.
Money.
It's so interesting too. Amy Comey Barrett,
Mm-hmm.
got all the death threats, and her family got death threats, and okay, she was one of y'all two winters ago, and now all of a sudden.
I don't have a shred of sympathy or empathy for that woman.
I don't either.
You helped usher in the pain and suffering and deaths of hundreds of thousands of women across the U.S. when you thought it was going to be a brilliant idea to ban life-saving reproductive care because it goes against your religious beliefs.
Yeah, I know.
So may she get that paid back 1,000 times over. I have no sympathy.
Thank you, Jamie. So, what you got, Johnny?
That's the Handmaid's Tale in this tarot deck.
Oh.
The high priestess.
God.
Yikes. Okay, Congress is talking about taking back control of tariff management. Will they do it?
Wow. They got a clue, huh? I mean, Jenny, please explain this to me like I'm a 1-year-old with brain damage. But how are you a co-equal branch of government who just decides, you know what? We're just going to give all the power to the king. And we're just going to sit here and insider trade and collect paychecks because what else are we going to do? We're not.
Yeah, we don't need to do anything. Just go ahead, Donald. Do whatever you want.
Yeah, so why are you there? Why are you there?
You know, they have all of these videos making fun of the youth of America who can't name the 3 branches of government and what they do. Can the people in the government name the 3 branches of government and what you're supposed to be doing? Mind you, most of our congressmen, senators included, and one of them said this in an interview, which is when I first heard it. They spend 3/4 of their time raising money. They do not work for us. They work for donations.
What I'm getting is you'd have to get it past Trump is the problem. I mean, the Democrats would definitely vote to bring the power back, but you have to get enough Republicans going along with that, and you've got to get super majorities to override a veto. The other thing is what you were talking about is they in Congress they've had Elon Musk and Trump and Navaro and all these people taking the hits. Whereas the people in Congress can say, we didn't vote for it. I haven't put my name on anything. What? Huh? We're just working on the budget over here, taking forever because it's so unpopular and awful. We're working let them do it. So they're just protecting their own, they think they're protecting themselves, but they're really not. This energy is pretty weak. I keep getting things like budgets and them working on that and things like taking back that power. Oh, yeah, I don't know if they can pull. It's like almost like trying to scoop the energy into one spot, or it's enough to actually make a difference.
How do you take a budget back that Musk is just going to destroy,
Right.
Disregard.
And to Bobby's point, they had the scapegoat of Elon Musk.
Mm-hmm.
He was the scapegoat. Now he's gone. Who are they going to point the finger at? Oh, and by the way, I know people in Alabama and most Republicans don't know because if it's not said on Fox News, then it's not real. But last I checked, Congress is there to check the president. Not just let him do whatever the F he wants to do. And it is their constitution. And they have the constitutional authority to set the tariffs, not what the king wants to do. So how come I know that, yet people that are lawmakers somehow don't know that? They do. They just don't want you to know that they know that. So
I'm getting that they're trying to control the bleeding. Right? This is what is this? Ace of Vessels, where they're all trying to, like, everything's pouring out and they're just trying to control the flood of bullshit that's coming out of there. This is the king of coins in this deck. So he's just grabbing bags of money from the monsters under the bed. Right?
If that isn't the perfect.
So gross, right? You got to get this deck. You'll sit up all night with it. You can sit up. And really, this and then the Baron vessel. So there is a little bit of control. There's just the one guy that's kind of the focus on maybe trying to narrow down committees, get the right people for the committees to do the right job. But it just like right now, it's a control. Like there's just crack. It's like whack-a-mole right now, and everything is just bursting. They'll try.
It's kind of like the Supreme Court. I'm getting there waiting to see what their donors tell them to do. Waiting on the judgment of their donors. They might try to say they're trying to ease the heartbreak here in America and bring America back the way it was. No, it's all about the money.
Did you know, Johnny?
You go ahead.
Will they get the tariff powers back when they cut them out and put the new person in? The answer is to remove or cut something out, and then there's someone new. So grow up fine is all I'm saying. Because if I know that you have the constitutional authority, and you know you have the constitutional authority, you're just insulting my intelligence by telling me there's nothing you can do.
Mm-hmm.
You decided to make him king. Now you're just insulting everybody, as if he hasn't made us a national, global embarrassment enough as it is already.
It's not going to be a Great Depression just in America. It'll be a global one. Thank you, Judy.
Sprouted by America. And we will never, again, even if you remove the parasite that is Donald Trump and his grifters in this administration, that stain will remain.
Well, because of the Republicans in Congress not controlling him, nobody will ever trust us again.
Nobody, and nobody's ever going to trust that political party again. So it's going to take us decades to get out of this. Hell, we were under 4 years under Biden, and we still had at least another 8 years to clean up the mess from his first term. Mm-hmm. This is his first term on steroids at a circus where everybody's fucking high. You know, so like it's gonna take decades, and they're just they don't care. So long as their money isn't hurt and they can stay in power, let it all burn. We'll just blame the gays and this Jewish space lasers and the drag queens, and we'll just keep everybody occupied and tell them everything is fine as they're paying $800 for a tomato. You know, it's ridiculous.
I got the Oracle card, Foodie Photographer, which you can read a couple ways. One is you are more consumed with observing than you are with doing. You can't stand back and wait to see what happens. You don't need the end of the book to be revealed to you because you know where this is going. There's the Five of Pentacles, which is poverty, lack, and loss. And then there's the Sun, which would mean this is obvious. You know where this is going. Now, mind you, if he's the Antichrist, then global meltdown is what he's here for. But there's the Hermit and the World. The World means after it hurts, something happens. Because the World, you have to get through the Fool all the way to the World card, which means you have to go through the Devil and the Tower and all that stuff too. So once the lessons are learned the hard way, unfortunately, then they'll do something, which is where they go with the constitutional crisis and everything's an emergency and everything's a this, and we got to vote at 11 o'clock at night, like they think 11 o'clock at night is late for people to work. And so they want it to be more dramatic than it is. Well, not want, but it has to be more dramatic than it is because they're too busy observing instead of doing. I can't stand people sometimes. So maybe I'm one of those people that will tell the aliens where all y'all is. Get them.
I keep trying to flag them down. I'm like, I'm right here. Come on.
Oh Lord. Isaac,
did everybody go on that one?
Yes.
I don't know what the question is here. Peter Navaro versus Ron Vero. If you haven't heard, even in his books that Peter Navaro has written, He's always quoting this expert on the economy, supposedly like a Yale or Harvard person. And Ron Vero is his name, is an anagram for Navaro. It's a made-up person. He doesn't exist. So
it's him.
It's him making up his own credentials for all his expertise on.
Like when Trump was his own publicist.
Dirty dog.
Yeah. Thank you, Gigi. So he's making up his own expertise on the economy. I don't know what my question is here, because he's Trump's one of his economic advisors.
Hasn't he been going back and forth with Elon too? Elon told him that having an Ivy League education is not a good thing.
Yes.
What was it, Trump, when he used to make phone calls and act like he was somebody else? I forget what the name was that he went
Barron. He took the name Barron.
Oh, Barron, yeah.
He was his own PR person.
Neutron Barron.
Yeah. Jen, if you'll forgive me, I am actually going to step away. I even have the cards telling me to go rest. I'm serious.
Oh, and Boo Boo's and Kitty.
Yeah, and Boo Boo's here now.
Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you so much for inviting me, and happy birthday. Happy birthday.
You.
Have the best, most wonderful year. All right, we'll see you all later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I don't know what I want to ask about Peter Navaro, Ron Vero.
That whole thing is insanity.
Is he, oh God, like anything, like there's so much wrong with that.
Is there any embarrassing fallout for him from this?
Well, Donald Trump wanted his first term, wanted to find some economist to back up his crazy stuff. Handed that project off to the genius Jared Kushner. Jared Kushner went online on Amazon and found a book written by Peter Navaro using
Ron Vero.
Ron Vero, which is not an anagram, but like when you,
Navaro,
the letters in your name and make a new name. So he made a fictional character based on himself, claiming to be an economist, and made up this whole bullshit theory about tariffs.
An expert economist.
Yeah, an expert economist that is fictional, that living in Peter Navaro's head. And Donald Trump said, yep, that's the confirmation bias I wanted from a make-believe person. I
kind of want to know is because there's a difference between persona and like a mental tick, to where in his mind this is who he is. He may pretend to be this person in normal circumstances. It's different if you are whatever your name under the pen, you have a different pen name than
if you're writing fiction. Yeah.
And you got a different name there. Okay. But this is different. This seems like it's taking on a life. Like he is actually attached to this person. This person has a heartbeat in his mind.
That's what's scary.
He goes on Fox News and talks about Ron Vero all the time. He's constantly touting this guy in his books, on TV, everywhere.
It's like that's it's his alter ego.
Does he have like a split personality?
Does he know the difference between himself and that person?
Okay.
Is he still under the Lord Jesus? Help him.
Know the difference.
Thank you, Sherry.
So
I don't go anywhere to tell somebody my name is Taros with an apostrophe S. I just don't.
What is his perception of reality? He's dissociating, right?
Yeah.
He's moving one character into another.
But we know Trump did that too when he went by the name Barron, when he used to call people, that Donald Trump, he's such a genius,
Yeah, that's some deep, sick stuff. mustardy.
I am seriously surprised that he did not try to like legit hire the Count from Sesame Street to run the IRS. At this point, like I am straight up amazed that that wasn't one of his nominations.
Devil on the bottom. I don't know if I can pull cards. It's ego. It's ego.
Something tells me, okay, I pulled cards and it was answering something else, so I put them back, and now they all come back again. Like almost the exact same ones. I'm going to say that sometimes, yeah, 6 of Cups, sometimes to escape, you create. You create art, you create whatever. Or you create personas and personalities. Because that person has no problems. That person doesn't have the same problems at the very least. That person's famous, or that person's an expert, or that person's looked at to be something bigger than what you feel you are. And so I think that he has some sort of trappings with his childhood in the 3 of Swords there that leads him with the Ace of Wands and strength to find strength in an alter ego. It's more exciting to be that person than it is to be this person.
I have a quick question. Was Peter Navaro one of the people that were indicted from Trump's first term? Or am I confusing that? Oh, okay. Okay.
He pardoned him when he pardoned Bannon, if I remember right.
Okay.
I got, he's well aware that that's all made up. There's the punishment. He wanted to be an advisor of some senior position in the administration. He knows it's all BS.
Mm-hmm.
He knows.
Mm-hmm.
He knows Peter Navarro knows that the other person is not real. He made him up. He just, it self-serving, if I may.
Thank you, Sue.
I got that he took it was an opportunity. I got 6 of Cups too. It's 6 of Hearts. This is the dirty dog deck. And I couldn't figure that out. I'm like, what's the nostalgia part of that? What is the 6 of Cups? And then him. There he is. There's that alter ego thing. As an opportunity, right? Look at him. So scary. As an opportunity to make more money, to create this personality, and would be like the 9 of Pentacles, to create quick success, 6 of Wands. That was the way he would be able to manipulate this into creating a bigger portfolio for him. And then the Joker. And I kind of stopped right there. Upside down. He's upside down.
Looks just like him. Clown.
I get it. It's all ego. Like from the moment he graduated, completed, his training and everything, he just thought he was so great. And I get he stole this idea from someone else, but he thought he was such a great businessman and great, with money and everything, that he took these 2 people and kind of drove them separately in the chariot there. So it's all image. He's totally aware that he's got this like split personality look going on, but he's aware of it. It was planned. It was intentional. Wow.
Was he a lawyer? Like, what was he?
He was a lawyer. But supposedly brilliant with the economy strategies. So.
Oh yeah, look at us now. Are we winning yet? Are we winning that? Meanwhile, China, I'm over there on TikTok, Jenny.
Oh my God.
China is over there, like, I guess they didn't take Trump's call when he called to negotiate a deal. They said, nah. And turned around and went a 34% tariff, pun intended for the 34 felony counts that he has, and then upped it to I don't even know what number, and they said bet. And then on top of that, all over TikTok, all the companies that manufacture in China, they're letting the consumers know, hey, you know those pair of Nikes you spent $150 on? This is how much they pay to make them, $5. You can get it directly from us for that much money without the load. Here's the, my jaw dropped on the floor, Jen, when I found out about the luxury handbags.
Yeah.
Louis Vuitton, Chanel, Celine, Hermes, $500,000 purses where you get put on a wait list for years are made in China. They're made in China. I was like,
everything is assembled there. Everything is put together there.
Well, they got more pollution than anybody else in the world too.
That's why they have such a huge black market on knockoff handbags.
Well, that used to be illegal. They passed that law to stop with the counterfeiting, but then this whole trade war started, and Xi Jinping said, counterfeits are off. Heyday, everybody go wild. I mean,
counterfeits never went away. Let me tell you, because I used to go to China 2 or 3 times a year, and I would buy $5-10 Prada bags.
I mean, I know that they never went away, but they had laws in China where people could be prosecuted, and then Trump started this, and they said all bets are off.
Yeah,
and everybody, and it's like
intellectual property rights. Forget about it.
And it's everybody. It's mind-boggling to see how we are being price gouged to the extreme. To the extreme. $100 pair of Lululemons. It cost them $5 to make it directly in the factory in China. And China's like, this is how you can get it directly from us and bypass the tariffs. I mean,
they're smart. It won't take them long to figure out. You know what? Let's just go down there to Bangladesh and set up a mailing center, and we'll just ship everything from there to help people in the U.S. avoid 145% tariff.
Jen, they're even given instructions on how you can. The pods, your laundry pods, 5 cents a pop. You can get what, 20 for $1. How much are we paying for Tide Pods or knockoff?
You're paying for the name.
You're paying for the name.
If you go into a store, your Benadryl is $7 for 24 caplets or something like that. If you just go to another aisle where the dollar stuff is, your diphenhydramine is $1. It's the same exact medicine. So just look around for something, and it's the exact same price. All your Hermes bag and all, it's not.
I was amazed about Hermes though, because they make it sound like they have to put you. Remember when they didn't sell Oprah Winfrey the Hermes bag? And that was like a whole scandal because it's Oprah Winfrey, the richest woman on the planet.
Buy your whole damn store.
She could buy your whole country if she wanted to, And they make it sound like, because there's a production. And it's like, bitch, you're getting these made in this factory over in China.
Yep.
They have a 6 to 8 week turnaround time. Why are you putting people on a wait list for 3 years and then charging them $500,000 just so that you can get the product back and just stamp your little name on it?
Paying for that name.
That doesn't take you 5 years. You're upcharging at over 500,000% at that point. It's insane. It's insane. And I think besides knowing that we're being ripped off by healthcare and everything else, but also an awareness of how badly corporations are ripping us off and how stupid the Trump administration is to think that he's going to get all those manufacturing jobs here because we don't have the interest
coming back.
We don't have the manufacturers. We don't have
we don't
have these structures need to be put in place.
To
build a car, where are you going to put it? Like on your front lawn, you're going to have a factory built so you can assemble cars, and because we need to make them here now.
I mean, it's ridiculous. It's insanity.
Before he died, with Apple told Obama, you will never get manufacturing jobs back here that moved overseas. You'll never get them back.
For the same price? Oh, hell no.
No, and
these countries, with their economy so insecure, they don't want to invest in us, other countries, and build factories here.
No, not with the crazies, not with the Christian crazies we got running this country.
We're not going to want to be employed for $5 an hour. That's
And
what
another
we're paying
thing-
these people to put all our shit together.
And another reason why they ship companies abroad, besides the cheap labor, you don't have to pay for insurance. You don't have to pay for unemployment. You don't have to pay all those things that are such an inconvenience to do here in America. So all these MAGA idiots are like, oh, we thought he was going to have the infrastructure in place first. Dumbasses, he spent 4 years talking about infrastructure week and delivered zero. What makes you think he was going to put together the infrastructure in a month and bring all those manufacturing jobs back? It's like they were almost there. They almost got it. And then it just, like.
If they want to blame anybody, it all started, it started with Nixon, who went to China for the first time. But all the manufacturing jobs moving over to China, that was under Reagan. My first international trip, I went through Europe, India, and ended in China in like 1987, 88. It was already there in China in 88 under Reagan.
Yeah, and here we are 50 years later, still waiting for the piss to trickle down on us.
Mm-hmm.
Are we there
So,
yet?
speaking of piss trickling down, MTG is having a town hall in Cobb County, which is a suburb of Atlanta.
Really?
On Tuesday. How's her town hall going to go?
Really? I would not do that if I were her, but okay, really. Okay.
Final question.
Maybe it might not happen. You don't know. You never know. But she can hire security now, right?
Yeah, she's going to have to.
She's a multimillionaire now.
She's going to need the Avengers and the Ghostbusters, though, for all that.
She just like
save her from the space, the Jewish space.
That one.
I would get up and say, excuse me, bad build butch body, but what are you going to do about Trump's insider trading?
And all the money you just made.
Watch her get flustered and tell you, like she did that reporter. And I'm going to say it, Jen, I'm quoting Marjorie Taylor Greene, that she got asked by a reporter about the Jewish space lasers. And she said, and I quote, "You can go fuck yourself." That was her response.
It came out her mouth. Like, why can't you answer the question?
Because she didn't have an answer. She knew that she was just throwing red meat to people that are stupider than her.
She's Janie Neutron. Not Jimmy, she's Janie.
Oh, there she is. Built body. There she is.
What is saying?
Lord,
did that catch the reading? Did that catch the reading?
Her and her boyfriend both on testosterone. Ain't that special?
Oh.
How's her town hall gonna? Well, it's either going to be handpicked because there's a lot of people blocked. Because I get this, ISA means block. This is ICE is what it means, but it's blockage, blockades, mountains, that type of thing. This is hatred or racism when it's reversed. And so it's like blocking people because she knows she's going to be hated type of thing. There's the Queen of Wands and the Judgment and the Two of Swords blocking. There's some sort of blocking that she's doing. So I don't know if she's handpicking people and creating a town hall. But
They are. According
to
it.
Yes.
Yeah,
blocking them, turning them away at the door, blocking them from getting in if they're going to create chaos.
Yes, that is a running thing. They're vetting people and they are like scanning you at the door, kind of thing, big time.
I get that there is growth and an uprising and people wanting change. There's invitations that are going to be taken away or revoked.
Yeah.
So at everybody.
Watch it. Because outside,
curated crowd. It's a very carefully curated crowd. I do get the tower, so there might be, that was the second card, so there might be something that comes up that they need to change for it. But then Ace of Pentacles and King of Swords and then the Five of Pentacles. So they're carefully vetting people right now.
Unbelievable.
She's going to talk about all the growth in the economy and how great this is. They better watch out outside because there are going to be people outside that are going to be protesting, I think.
Good.
You mean Jenny? Jenny, are you a millionaire yet? Did you get your check from George Soros? Are you rich?
Oh my God!
I check from George Santos.
I was sitting in it's not sitting in. We were at the donut shop down the street, the actual donut shop, not the crack house. We were in the donut shop down the street, and there was this group of people. It was 7 of them sitting there, and they were all older people. And he was saying how it was awesome that the protests went off and there was no violence, there was none of this. And one of the ladies sitting there said, well, it was paid by George Soros. And he says, well, if it was, I didn't get my check. And I was like, I want to laugh because it's like, lady, the whole thing was paid for by him. That's a lot of people.
Thank you, Sue. I think I missed a super chat. Well,
just in the, I'm sorry, Jenny, but just in the math alone, where the last report I saw was 5.2 million Americans, and they're claiming each one of us was paid $100 million. That's over trillions of dollars.
Really?
I ain't got mine.
I didn't get mine, but last I checked, George Soros didn't have that kind of money. So, I mean, I'm pissed I didn't get my check. Jen didn't get hers.
I didn't get mine.
Where's my check?
Carol back out. Where's my check, sir?
Well, thank you, Ona, Becca, and Johnny, and Autumn, and Lena for joining me tonight for my birthday. Thank you to the 2,500 of my closest friends for watching tonight.
You look
Nothing
great.
like having a big birthday party.
You look great for being 27, Jen.
Happy birthday, Jen.
My 35th anniversary of my 27th birthday.
Yeah.
Or 29th, I should say. 29th, 35th anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you all. We will be back on Becca's channel next week for Petty Boots. And by the way, before I forget, Lori would like to join us next week. She couldn't make it tonight.
Absolutely. I'll send her out an invite. But yeah, you guys don't forget to feed the crows and tell them all about the orange assholes.
I'm going to look for him.
Let's manifest him standing outside talking to the cameras and just getting shit bombed.
I'm going to look for him to talk to them. I will chase them down the street. I'm going to
talk to the birds, Ona. I talk to mine every day. I tell them good morning. I give them their peanuts. I tell them how pretty they are.
They don't get that close to me. There are big geese that fly by.
Oh, no.
There's a nest in the building next to me on the roof, because it's like, wow.
Yeah,
they're like big birds and they fly up this high.
Yeah, I'm scared of geese. We got attacked by them at the zoo. We had to throw the food at them. We were feeding the ducks and the geese came up and started biting us, so we just threw the food at them and ran away.
They assault you. They assault you. Yes.
Lucky Girl wants to know if we were paid in Johnny Bucks.
Yeah, Johnny Bucks.
I don't have any today.
Protest.
All I got is M&M.
Maybe you need to let George Soros know about Johnny Bucks, Johnny.
I got enough of those, though.
Well, good night, everybody. Thanks for celebrating with me. We will see you next Sunday.